Hey, it's David here, CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. I have the opportunity to speak with lots of business owners, many investors, operators, sponsors in real estate, everybody who really is out there, boots on the ground, doing something in the capital space, making things happen, solving problems for their constituent clients, patients, members, investors, whatever it may be. And what I'm constantly hearing is what I term recency bias, which means I see a lot of people that are looking back over their shoulder the last year, 2 years, 3 years, COVID being a very outlier period, but where money was flushed into the system by the Federal Reserve and Congress that have boosted up the growth aspects of just about every asset that you could find out there today. And people are still running on the basis of that's the way it's going to be going forward. Recession? Oh no, recession, I think we're about there. The Fed's going to pivot, reduce interest rates, go back to quantitative easing anytime by July, and we'll be back to the same old run we've had in the last 15 years coming out of the great financial crisis. Well, I don't believe that. I tend to go a different direction than the herd, what I call the groupthink, the mob mentality. What everybody else thinks, I tend to look the other way because what I found in life, more times than not, is if I go the opposite direction of the larger group, the mainstream of what they think, I've always done better. But here's what else I know. We can't keep going the way we've been going in this country with the economics, with the unprecedented amount of debt and deficit spending. We continue on with no end in sight. In fact, we have a debt ceiling issue coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and we have the stalemate between Congress, typically the Republican side, and Biden, who still wants to keep spending like there's no tomorrow, like we can just keep doing it. And the fact is we can't. Even the U.S. being the reserve global currency, which we've had that benefit for now, 80 years, it's been what we've lived off. It's the credit card that never ends, but it does end. There's aspects of de-dollarization. We've had de-globalization because of COVID. Many things going on geopolitically that are changing the environment, and the fact that this country is more in debt than we produce today, big problem. National security problems. There's so many issues there that I can't even begin to count them all. We have an onsurge of household debt, from mortgages to student loan debt to credit card debt to auto debt, and we have the student loan payments that are coming due again after being paused out for the last 3 years, coming on board again. They're going to start making their payments again beginning in August, and many of these students who had all this debt, that had this pause for this period of time, actually took on more debt and started living a different lifestyle. Look, it's just they don't know what they don't know. The problem is the consumers that drive our economy, that pay the rents, that come to our stores and shops and buy our services and buy the cars and everything else that drives the economy, they're not going to have the capital to do it. That's the point. So whether you think we're going to a recession or not, I say you better prepare for it. In the realm of investing, let's just stay on alternative investments because that's what I love to talk about. That's what I've built my whole freedom based on, real estate. I love real estate, but you have to also be very, very cognizant of the cycles that we're in, and the cycle that we're in right now that's changing is a major cyclical change, cyclical change, excuse me. Secular and cyclical. Cyclical being the shorter term business cycles that typically we have every 6 to 8 years. This one's gone for 14 years. And now we're going through the cycle right now, the business cycle change. We have the secular change, which started back in 1980, that 40-year period where we had decreasing interest rates. Now we're on the upswing. These are all major changes that will definitely have an effect. What do we do about investing? I'm looking at a pattern today where the big growth that we've had in asset classes in the last decade, 14, 15 years, but really going back 40 years, it's been money running uphill. It's been easy street. If you've done anything at all, you've been a hustler in business or investing anything at all, you've made money. It's going to change now. Now it's going to go back to those who can really operate real businesses or operate real estate. Not just this buy it, add a little lipstick to it, and then refi out to a greater fool who's going to pay more for it just because the cost of capital was so low. The cost of capital has gone up faster in the last 14 months than ever has in history. That's a major game changer, and it's going to affect pricing going forward. That's why I'm in a period of time where I'm watching, waiting, not investing in more equities or growth right now because I don't see that happening. I see disinflation. I see those values coming down, and it's going to be okay for those who have operational efficiency in place. They can manage through it. But if they have debt coming due in the next 2 or 3 years, or they don't really make profit on the holding period, they only make it on the back end, that's not going to work. That's where people are going to have trouble. That's where the opportunities are going to come for those of us who are positioned to take capital we keep in more liquid places like in treasuries or in debt lending, which right now is actually my favorite. Lending money, where I can call the shots, I can decide what valuation I can put on assets, and I can lend only up to a certain point, keeps my money safe. It's fungible, it's contractual by nature, so I don't have to play the equity, does it grow? I know exactly what I'm getting. But when the opportunities come on the other side of this recession, probably the earliest will be the end of this year. 2024 may show some opportunities. I think by 2025, it's wide open again, just like after the great financial crisis back in 2008. The opportunities really started coming in late 09, 10, and then we just took it on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Great opportunities for those who were positioned to take those opportunities. It's what I call the great wealth transfer. It's going to happen again, but right now you've got to be very, very astute about how you run your businesses and where you make your investments, because if you play with the recency bias of the past, you're likely to get tripped up, and that is something you don't want to do. I'll see you next time. Stay focused on your freedom.